And on this Easter weekend, one of America's most powerful Catholics, a man once considered a contender to be Pope himself, New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan, speaking to ABC's George Stephanopoulos about what happened inside that secret conclave and the possibility of there being an American Pope someday.
So let's bring in George Stephanopoulos, host of ABC's This Week. And he really did provide some interesting color about what went on in that conclave. Tell us
color
about
is
that.
exactly right. There's only so much he can say. They're bound by secrecy. But the Cardinal did confess to some anxiety leading into it because of the challenges facing the church right now. And the other interesting thing he did say is, as you mentioned, he was mentioned as a possible Pope going into the conclave, but most observers believe that the other cardinals aren't ready to choose an American Pope, a Pope coming from a major superpower. He believes that over the course of this conclave, that opposition melted away and that he can now imagine an American Pope someday. And remember, the new Pope is 76 years old.
That is a fascinating development in this church. Let me ask you about something a little bit more earthly, American politics. There's a lot of ink being spilled this morning, although I guess in the age of the internet we shouldn't say ink being spilled. Both the New York Times and Politico have stories about the speculation and maneuvering in advance of a possible presidential run by Hillary Clinton. Is this absurdly early to be discussing something like this?
Sure it is, but it's not going to stop. It's only going to grow over the next couple of years. Here's what we know right now. We know that a lot of Democrats and a lot of major fundraisers in the Democratic Party want Hillary Clinton to run. They believe she will be the strongest candidate in 2016. And we know that Hillary Clinton has not ruled it out going forward. So until she does, or until she jumps in, that speculation is not going to go away at all. And what it does do is kind of freeze the field. Makes it much more difficult for other potential candidates like New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, even Vice President Joe Biden, to get the kind of support they need because she's out there as the 800-pound gorilla in the race.
You're watching her every move. All right, George, great to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you might get in trouble for calling her 800-pound gorilla, but
No,
metaphorically.
not literally.
Just kidding.
No.
Just kidding. Thank you, George. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. By the way,
guys.
George has a big show on this Easter Sunday. New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan will be, as we just saw, George's guest, along with Newark Mayor Cory Booker and Congressman Peter King. It's all coming up on This Week, just a little bit later this morning with George Stephanopoulos.